I like that.
All right.
Oh, shit. Oh, hold on, take a second.
Okay.
Okay, do that first. Sorry.
All right, let me do that for you. Hold on, that's still the time.
47.
Thanks.
Oh, I would erase it.
Alright. Now, a framework for the debate is who best performs a political agency en route to the liberation of the press as it relates to the resolution and or debate community. Our advocacy is that the debate community should embrace a revolutionary setting to challenge style and content that perpetuate anti-blackness. And we said again that we embrace the black womanist aesthetic because of our social location, and that the revolutionary aesthetic is a way for people to self-determine their own identity, embrace the world, and form a better politics. They sit over here and they read, my partner already touched on this in her speech, which talks about how the affirmative talks about that the identity politics is kind of bad. We can choose we have the right to choose. It's not fair that people try to ascribe certain things on us when we identify another way. It's unfair to have those labels, and we have to be more realistic about this notion that it's not so much about people ascribing these labels on us. It's so much more when we're talking about the bell hooks evidence. We're talking about basically affirming who we are regardless of what people ascribe on us.
But being knowledgeable, this is
But
survival tactic. Being
And also,
knowledgeable.
you have to be knowledgeable in survival tactics. And this is when I'm talking about the Wilderson. Now, I said Wilderson is full of shit, and what I meant by that is that in the aspect of saying he's full of shit when he's talking about fuck the state. Let's be realistic. They're not about fuck the state, Judge, and I'll tell you why. They're talking about security is bad in all instances. They were sitting over here, security is bad, the institution of security is bad, and all that is bad. Rules are basically, if they believe that securitization was bad, then they would not even be here in this debate room right now debating right in front of you, because it's through securitization from the state, through civil rights policies, that they are even able to debate in this room right now. They sit over here and tell me that for rape to even be a crime, that's a form of securitization. Before, rape was not always a crime. People did have the right to take women when they wanted to, and especially black women when it came in terms of slavery. So that's why we say securitization is good in some aspects, and that's why we disagree with the affirmative, and they cannot really, I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to solve for. They're trying to solve for the harms of heteronormativity and of the harms that happen on the other, the oppression of the other, but you can't solve for the oppression of the other if you cannot relate to the other. And this is what my partner's talking about, what she's talking about. They're using their culture as a resource, a reference instead of a resource. Basically, it was kind of a disconnected narrative. They never really did bring up their own personal experience. They're like, I never seen this and I never seen this, but I can solve for this. Well, how can you say that? And that's when they still didn't even answer my argument with the practice this ad, when I was talking about white women or white feminists, first world feminists, sat over there and went in third world countries, and they tried to sit over there and run that show, and that wasn't working, and people died because they did not understand the cultural difference in that. You gotta recognize cultural difference. And if you can't even sit over here and relate to it, then how can you solve for it? You can't solve for it. And if anything, what happens worse, what is the result of the affirmative, in the world of affirmative, is that more people die from this, more people get hurt from this, more people are oppressed for this. More people are oppressed without forms of securitization. They perpetuate oppression in the world of the affirmative, the negative does, and this is why you should vote negative. Our alternative, womanism, is better because, like again, womanism seeks to fight all forms of systems of oppression. And it's not about the oppression Olympics or root cause. Root cause is not the point of the matter here. Basically, we got to deal like who came first, the chicken and egg, doesn't matter who's here now. We're all here together, and we're all fighting together. And she sits over here and she asks for a scenario about if you are black, whatever, if you were raped, you have a thing, would you want to gouge out the eyes of your rapist or call the police? Let's be more realistic here. Now, I was 14 when I was sexually molested by a man. Now, I sat over there, I was scared to my fucking life. I didn't know what to fucking do. Let's be honest. Afterwards, I'm like, yeah, maybe I should have did this, maybe I should have did that. But when you're in that state of mind, when you are right there, you can't always do that. So it's always nice. It's like the nice in fantasy world. This is a view. They're basically an inverted epistemology. It's fucked up the way that they're coming from a view of nowhere. If you've never been in that position to sit over here and say that, to make statements of that sort is the reason why you cannot solve for heteronormativity, is the reason why you cannot solve for the oppression of the other, and it's the reason why you should vote negative in this debate space. What else you got for me? Oh, okay. Let's see, I wanna get more off of it. Let's see, politics, eligibility, cultural, ignore.
Oh, talk about co-options, you said that.
Oh. Who's going, are they saying we're gonna be co-option?
Yeah.
Okay, co-option in this world doesn't matter because basically,
They haven't articulated how.
they haven't articulated how exactly our form of politics will be co-opted in this debate space. If anything, I would just say that their form of politics will be more co-opted
Because it's visible to the state.
because it's visible to the state. Sit over here and you put out your plans in front of everybody and everybody knows who you are. You're being, co-option is inevitable. Really, it's right, co-option is right there. We're getting filmed right here, right now. The camera's on. So co-option is inevitable and there's no impact to their co-option. It's in status quo. Also, vote negative again because they failed to meet our role of the ballot. And they also failed to meet their role of the ballot. They do not,
They do not allow for the becoming of the black woman.
they do not allow for the becoming a black woman at the point that they can't even relate to the black woman, at the point that they ignore where the black woman is coming from when they ask or make certain statements about we could choose to be a black woman or we should choose to describe or take abuse from people who want to label us otherwise. Let's see. So again, securitization is good. In instances, they even use securitization, they are not genuine in their politics.
I can't
Six
see the
36.
6:36.